Over the years, there have been a lot of words that have been, popularized by the internet, and they've been overused so much that they've begun to just be completely diluted and lose a lot of their meaning. The word nonchalant is one of those, right? And aside from the obvious overuse in the media, the main problem for me is that there are so many people racing to become this word more than them using it in ways that they don't understand. I think it's a bit more dangerous than that. They're trying to become it and make that a big part of their personality. I'm here to stop you before you go down that rabbit hole, or if you're already in there, I'm here to drag you the hell out. If we have a look at the definition of nonchalant, right, we'll see that it says feeling or appearing casually calm and relaxed, not displaying anxiety, interest, or enthusiasm. And if you notice, you'll see there's some key words in there, and it's not displaying. The key in that is it's not that it doesn't exist for you, it's not that you can't feel it or it doesn't come to you, the emotions aren't there, it's that you don't show it. You're hiding your feelings and your expressions behind this persona of being nonchalant. And you've become this way because you've decided, whether that's through your life experiences, through programming, or other people telling you certain things, that that's the best way to live a fulfilling life or to live a life where you get certain things that you want. I'm here to tell you that is completely false, that you should really live to your own definition. And your definition is definitely not the definition given to you by other people and them saying that this is the best way to live your life. God forbid you were told to be like this by another person. God forbid that you were told, oh, this is the best way to be. You gotta be like this, you gotta treat them like this, you gotta do that and do this. That way you'll get what you want, or that way you'll get the best outcome. There are so many things to unpack if that is your situation or that is your scenario that oh my God, I don't even want to go through. But we'll start quickly with the messenger is important. The messenger matters and it matters a lot. If you look at that person's life, the person that gave you this advice, right? And you think, there is nothing in your life that I would like to replicate for myself. And even if it is, even if there's one little aspect, it might be that, oh, he says this and he gets loads of girls. Think about if that's the type of stuff that's actually going to fulfill you realistically. Think about how fulfilling that could possibly be. I'm also hoping you guys have at least a little bit of standards for yourself. And the things in that tidbit of information that may go completely against your standards. He's saying, oh, just be nonchalant, bro. They'll come to you. Whole time he's paying for it, he's manipulating people, and you never know. These people could look like extras from a World War Z film. He could have 5 baby mothers. He could have one car that barely works, that just about starts every morning. He has to flip in and do the Kevin Gates trick and start the motherfucker with his hands every morning before he goes to work, and then say, "Speak nothing of this" to his neighbors. And
I hate that I even spoke about this. If I didn't, may God murder my children.
No, don't say that.
Please kill them today, right now, today.
and then you add all these things up because sometimes you get one tracked on the fact that this is one aspect of this person's life that I'd like to put into mine. And then when you actually start to look around just a little bit, you realize, hold on a minute, he's a bum. This guy's a scrub. He's a bona fide scrub. Why am I listening to this guy play the game? This guy shouldn't be able to give me any form of advice that I take seriously. He should be a heckler at this point. Like there is no part in your life that this person should play other than to tell you wicked stories about his past, and then you laugh about them at work, and then hee hee ha ha, go home. I don't give a fuck about that, bruh. Carry on with your day. You need to stop upgrading people's positions in your life to things that they don't deserve. But what did he do to deserve that position in your life to be your role model? Crazy. And even in the case of like celebrities, public figures, or other content creators you might know, you don't know half the stuff that went into them being the person that they are, or being able to pull off the things that they do pull off. How is it going to work for you? That's like seeing someone make a super serum and you only saw the first and the last chemicals that they put into the formula. You try and replicate the formula. What the hell do you think you're going to get? You were doomed from the start. Like, what do you think is going to happen when you drink that shit? But nothing good is the fucking answer. Nothing good. One sip of that motherfucker might send you straight to an MJ concert. Then heaven really can't wait. So you're telling me you lived your whole life, every single thing that's happened to you in your life to this moment, and all you have to show for it is trying to be like another person, is someone else's personality. That is insulting to that person that you're trying to impersonate the personality of and yourself. To those people who feel like they're being that for the sake of being cool, social acceptance, for the sake of trying to get these aesthetic of people or these type of people, even though that's not who you really are. But for those people that are doing it for that sake, there'll be a bit of conflict between the nonchalant persona that you feel is best for society and the person who you actually are. And those two are going to clash. Like, there is no avoiding that those two are going to clash at some point. Like, they see each other every day. Like, they walk past, they're like ops walking past them to each other in the hallway. Something's going to happen eventually. Like, they're going to fight. There's no avoiding it. There will be a bit of a dissonance at play. There will be a disagreement between those two personas that you have within yourself. With this dissonance will come a general confusion for things that you want to do in life. And that can plague everything that you do. Literally, everything is like a step slower. You find yourself hesitating to do certain things. And I always say hesitation leads to disaster. And that's your brain's like trying to decide between the two personalities of which one you want to pick. What decision would this person pick? What decision would that person pick? And you have the personalities of different people and yourself trying to decide on a situation. You're going to be a step late. You're going to think too slowly. You're going to overcomplicate your thoughts. You're going to overthink in the wrong ways. Let me pose something to you, right? Would you rather be at peace with the world but at war with yourself, or at war with the world and at peace with yourself? Which one would you rather be? So instead of doing all that nonsense, just give yourself, the true self, a chance to be accepted. Give that self the opportunity to be accepted or rejected. Because think about how certain energies attract, right? When you're trying to be authentic, typically you'll attract authentic people or people that are trying to be genuine, people that are actually genuine, who they say they are on the tin. If you're being a fake person, do you know how ironic it is that in being a fake person to try and be with or try to get to know people that who you think are cool, how those people might actually be faking and pretending to be cool or acceptable socially? It's backwards. It's so backwards. It's so, there are so many things wrong with it that I can't even finish in this damn video. That's why I just stop. Just stop. Just stop, man. At this point, you probably noticed that this video isn't just about being nonchalant or nonchalance. I've kind of just prefaced it as that because you know the word's kind of trendy and everyone uses it nowadays. So, but obviously the bigger theme of this, the bigger picture is being yourself and being comfortable slash okay with being yourself at all times. And with that being said, do proceed with caution, right? Because there are some aspects of some of you people's character that you might want to keep away from the public. You might want to have some discernment here, right? Not all parts of your character will be able to be displayed to someone or a group of people in a certain setting or at a certain time, right? Because some of you gremlins are a little weird, let's be honest. And that's at best. At worst, if you reach into your backpack, you might be able to clear out a Drake concert in T minus 5 seconds. But at best, at worst, you might just be a criminal. And then at that point, you can get your ass the fuck on. Or send your ass to jail, Arkels and Diddy, soon to be Diddy, and them man. You gotta live it up in there with them man. But then you'll really be with your people. This is all this is about realistically. I'm trying to get you to be with the people where you belong. And for some of you guys, maybe that's the place. Maybe it's prison, the penitentiary. Know your audience is essentially what I'm trying to say. Know your audience. Know how much of yourself to show to certain people. There might be some aspects of yourself that are a little on the more unforgiving side when it comes to people's reactions. So maybe leave that on the back end for a couple minutes. Cut that out for now. After a while, and you feel a bit more comfortable with some people, bring that in, and then they'll be more likely to accept it than you just throwing it on them straight away. Oh, Timmy, what are some of your hobbies? You asked about my hobbies? Well, I like to go into the playground and find spiders. And when I find them, I put them in a box and I make them fight each other. Whoever loses, I take apart limb by limb. It's so fun, it's so entertaining. You wanna do it with me sometime? You're my friends, right? Think about it, even the best actors break character at some point. We only get to see that through bloopers, right? And the only reason we don't see it in the official film is because they stop they stop rolling the cameras, they say, cut, we'll do the scene again, we'll redo the scene. You don't have the liberty of doing that in your life. The cameras are always rolling. The cameras are always rolling. You don't get to pause it, you don't get to cut it and stop and say, can I redo this? No. You have to live with the consequences of who you're choosing to be every single day. You live with that, and that can either be your crutch or your biggest asset. You can you choose which one you want it to be. You think you can live your life pretending the way you have been? You think you can live your whole life like that? Okay, give it a go, see what happens. But I can guarantee you that it won't be as purposeful, it won't be as fulfilling as it could be. And realistically, you can only really be the second best somebody else. Your power is in your uniqueness. Your power is in the fact that no one else can be like you. Nobody on planet Earth. That should be your power. That should be your strength. And God gave us this uniqueness, and you're going to throw it away trying to be somebody else, someone that you're not. Why? So you make the choice. Would you rather be building the person who you are, who you want to be, and who you can be? Or would you want to refine and fine tune your act of being someone else? Which one would you rather do? Okay, you got to this point in the video and you finally accepted, right? Maybe I wasn't really being true to who I really was, but how do I change? How do I go from that to what I want to be? And with that, let's start with a bit of an analogy, right? Let's start with think of yourself as both the block and the sculptor, right? With every strike, with every little indent, every little strike of the hammer, you're creating yourself. All of those things, the things you do every day, the things you do every week, the things you do every month, all those things add up to who you are. Think of it, it's like building a case of evidence for yourself as well. You can use that analogy too. You've collected all these things, you've put in the work, those little increments of here and there are adding up to the big conclusion of you being who you are. And of course, the more evidence you build up, the easier it is to be consistent with that version of who you want to be. So if you build the persona, say at first it's really hard to go to the gym, right? It's really hard. Oh, do I really have to get up out my bed and leave just to go and sweat and be tired and be aching from a place and come back? Like that's lot. I can't do that. That's too much effort. But as you keep going, as you get consistent, as you lift more weights, run more on the treadmill, hit more punching bags, whatever you're doing in the gym, hit those leg days, make sure you hit them leg days. You build more evidence for yourself. You build the evidence that you are consistent with the identity of a person that likes to keep in shape. That's the identity you're building. That's the evidence you're building the case for. That identity, that sense of self. The only way you start progressing from said identity is if you give up. You just say, "Oh, shit, this is who I am. I guess there's nothing I can do about it." And then you sit there and wallow in your sorrows and think, "Oh, I could have been this, but life was just so hard, man. Life was just, oh, this got in the way and that got in the way." And then you build these little excuses after excuses for your life. And then you turn into one of them people that are like, "Oh, guys, go and chase your dreams because I didn't chase my dreams. And this is what happened to me. I should have done that. If I was to give you guys advice on what to do, oh, this is so much, these are some of the things I regret from my childhood. I should have done this. I should have done that." And then now you have incurable coulda, shoulda, woulda syndrome. And that shit cannot be cured because you feel like it's already too late. And then if you're already in that mode and it's already got to the point where you're telling your kids that shit, it might actually be too late. But at the same time, you can always recreate yourself. You can always recreate yourself. But a lot of people with their mindset kill that dream before it ever starts, or kill the possibility of recreation before it ever starts. And we could go into recreation in another, that's a topic for another day, but for now we'll stick on to this, right? But yeah, you start feeling sorry for yourself and you start reminiscing on your life, looking back when all that's in the past is depression, all that's in the future is anxiety. So you stay in the present, focus on the things you can actually control, such as your daily actions, as we just spoke about. Start feeling sorry for yourself. Actually grip your life again. Re-grip it. Hold on to it tight because you've forgotten clearly that it was in your hands in the first place. Your life is in your hands and treat it as such. As we've been talking about, sculpt to yourself. Pick up the tools and keep going until you're satisfied. Pick up the tools and keep going. Keep going. You have a sculpture and you only dislike certain parts of it, little parts here and there, the little imperfections you want to smooth out, you want to make better, you want to improve on, right? You can make corrections, change the habits, change the behaviors, make sure that it's reflective of the sculpture or the person that you want it to be, right? Go for everything that you want, whether it's a job opportunity, whether it's people that you want to get to know. Maybe you want to talk to this girl, maybe you want to make new friends. Make sure you go for those things without the hesitation and the weakness that would have been there from the previous person that you used to be. If you got to the point where you feel like you built the wrong sculpture, oh shit, I've messed up my life. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. I built my life to this point and I don't even like it. I don't like how this picture looks. It looks like the D Wade sculpture they built the other day. Shit looked terrible. And you're looking at your friend like, how do I change this? How do we change this? What do we do with this? To that I say, remember at the start where I mentioned you are not just the block, you are also the sculptor. And as the sculptor, you need to have a sense of detachment. Obviously not fully because it's still your work at the end of the day, but have some sense of detachment from the block of which you are sculpting and you are working on. To the point where if you feel like you cannot make any changes to the block that it is at the moment, restart. Just get a completely new block and start over. And I know that might be hard to do, but when it's done, starting that new block is 10 times easier because you know the mistakes you made on the last block and you can use that knowledge to avoid making those mistakes when you make your new block. It may not be the exact same components of the block you had before, because it might be different. It might be older now. It might be a bit more mature, but at the same time, it's still scopable. It is still scopable. And as long as you have the tools and are willing to get to work, you can make whatever the hell you want to.